Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Rell. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time when we come together not just as fans, but as a community. Breast cancer is the most common among women worldwide. In the US alone, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. That's roughly one person every 2 minutes. And while rare, men can get it too. Around 1 in 833 men will face a breast cancer diagnosis. The good news, though, early detection saves lives. So, thanks to research, awareness, and improved screening, survival rates have been steadily rising. So, as we talk about football, let's also remember the real fight off the field and support those battling, surviving, and researching every day.
I say I'm shooting shots straight to the point just like the podcast. Other teams they run into my shooters cause we got that. I killed the game and left the court with no condolence. I'm still gonna shoot my shot no matter how big the moment is. She ain't like when Bess get on that phone. Yeah. You watching from the TVs in your homes. Yeah. They feeling like in 7, leave a comment down below. Yeah.
Yo, it's your boy Bess, your boy Rell, and your boy Jerrick, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 4, episode 7. Y'all, we got a good one for y'all today because this is the second edition of the Bess Tiers for this year. It's going to be through 6 weeks. Then following that, Rell and Jerrick is going to give their reactions to my tiers. All right. Then following that, we're going to have the No Huddle segment. We're talking about a bunch of different topics, and then we're going to end this episode with our Week 7 bets and our Week 7 picks. But before we get into any of that, as always, I want to thank God for waking us up this morning, allowing us to talk about sports, which is something that we love to do. And without him, we would not be here right now. Fellas, y'all ready?
Let's
Yes,
go.
sir.
All right, man. I'm extremely excited today because we're doing the Best Tiers, right? One of my favorite segments on the Straight to the Point podcast. All right, so we're going from bottom to top. All right, bottom to top. Worst teams at the bottom, best teams at the top. All right, so the first tier, Buns, Bad, and Beyond. Okay, I heard of Bed, Bath, and Beyond, but these is Buns, Bad, and Beyond. Okay, because all these teams are either Buns, they're either bad or they're worse than that. Okay, we got the Titans, the Cardinals, Jets, Dolphins, Browns, and Raiders. Look, they're all a circus act, right? I'm looking at the Titans. They just fired their head coach, right? The Cardinals, they just had the most embarrassing loss that I've ever seen in my life a couple weeks ago to the Titans, who just fired their coach, right? The Jets, we're just waiting on that breaking news to see Aaron Glenn gets fired. And Justin Fields getting dogged out like he a high school quarterback. All right, we're looking at the Dolphins, Tua blaming everybody but himself after a 3-interception performance. Once again, waiting on the breaking news from Mike McDaniel to get fired. And then the Browns, look, the Browns are the Browns. Right, I don't think I need to say much about the Browns. They're talking about Shador Sanders more than they're talking about Dylan Gabriel, right? It's a clown show. Then the Raiders, Geno Smith has more picks than I have fingers, right? Like it's just a bad showing for all of these teams. All right, so Buns bad and beyond. All right, next up, Spoiler City. Look, these three teams are not necessarily good. They're not great, but any given week, they can knock off anybody, right? The Saints are playing everybody close. Okay. The Giants, they just beat the Eagles last week, and it wasn't a close game either. They beat them by 17. Right. And then the Panthers, they beat the Cowboys, who's an I team, but the Panthers, once again, they beat the Falcons by 30 a couple weeks ago, right? These are teams that can beat you on any given week. So I gotta give them their props. It's Spoiler City. All right. Next up, pour out some liquor. Look, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I got to. For these two teams, I got to, bro. I got to.
Oh
Look,
man. Oh man.
pour a little bit out right there. We're gonna pour a little bit out. Look, the 49ers, everybody, just drop it. Right? Fred Warner, gone for the season. Nick Bosa, gone for the season. George Kittle, he ain't been on the field since week 1. Right? Brock Purdy, in and out of the lineup. Ricky Pearsall can't get on the field. Right? Brandon Ayuk still ain't got on the field. All of their stars are hurt. Right? I think their season is done primarily because of injuries. The Bengals, look, I didn't think they was that good of a team even with Joe Burrow, but after Joe Burrow went out, I think we all can agree this team is pretty much done because they don't have their star QB. I probably shouldn't have poured that because it's from like alcohol in here. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move on to our next segment. All right. Yeah. Mom and dad gonna be mad about that. But benefit of the doubt. All right. Benefit of the doubt. The Ravens, look, I don't think they are a good team, but I will give them the benefit of the doubt because any given week with Lamar Jackson, we know they can beat anybody. right? So you don't know how these last couple of games could have gone if they had Lamar Jackson. Yes, the defense looks absolutely terrible, right? But Lamar Jackson would have gave them a way better chance to win these games than Cooper Rush, right? So I got to give them benefit of the doubt. And I'm not going to say the season's over. I'm leaning towards saying it, but you never know because you know Lamar Jackson is one of the best regular season players we've ever seen. So him coming back after the bye and they have a couple of easy games, maybe they can creep back into it. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. All right. Next up, they all right. They all right. Like the Cowboys, Commanders, Falcons. Look, these are three teams that I am not going to say they're going to the playoffs, right? The Cowboys, Dak Prescott's playing at the MVP level, but I do not think his team will have a good enough record for him to win MVP, aka 2024 Joe Burrow, right? The Commanders, outside of Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin, there's nothing really that exciting. Like we all talking about Bill, Jacory Crosby-Merritt, right? We all talking about him, but he ain't really no threat like that. So I don't really look at this team as big of threats either. And then the Falcons, I'm not going to be fooled by what I saw against the Bills, okay? Michael Penix can have a game where he looks like a really good quarterback. Then he has a game where he's in Justin Fields conversations, right? Like that's how I feel about these teams. So, but one thing about these teams, when all three of their quarterbacks are clicking on all cylinders, they can win games. We saw Michael Penix this past week. Jaden Daniels, we know what he can do. And then Dak Prescott, we've been seeing it this year. When those three click, they can win games. So they all right. All right, next tier, fraud alert. Fraud alert. Look, these teams, I'm telling you right now, if the playoffs started today, I would pick every one of these teams to lose in the first round. I'm not confident in any of these teams. All right, the Colts, Daniel Jones, there's still a verdict out there on you. I'm not, you're on pumpkin watch. Okay, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm quite sure it's going to happen when you're going to start showing shades of your old self. All right, Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence has been playing below average. I don't care what nobody says. And they're winning games somehow because the defense, as Rell said last week, is getting turnovers at a very high rate. At some point, that's going to come down. And then Trevor Lawrence's true colors are really going to show. All right, the Seahawks, Sam Darnold, once again, he's playing at an all-time great level right now, according to his standards. I do not think that he can carry this throughout the rest of the season. We're talking about the Seahawks being very dangerous because of how good Sam Darnold's playing. What's going to happen when he comes back down to earth a little bit? We'll see. All right, the Chargers. Look, Justin Herbert was in MVP talks the first 2-3 weeks. Since then, how it's been looking. Right, we ain't been talking about him as much no more. Right, the Chargers barely beat the Dolphins. They lost to the Giants. Right, like they lost to the Commanders. Wasn't a pretty loss. So the Chargers, I just don't know. And then the Vikings. Look, the quarterback situation to me is very big question mark on top of that. All right, whether it's JJ McCarthy or Carson Wentz, I don't trust this team like that. Yes, they have Justin Jefferson, but still, I don't trust the QB position. So all of those teams, they have good records. They look good right now, but fraud alert. All right, next up, I hear the footsteps. Y'all know whenever y'all at home by yourself, right? Y'all start hearing stuff. You start getting real nervous, right? Start getting real, like, hey man, what's that, right? I hear the footsteps. I hear y'all. Okay, both teams they got hot over the past couple of weeks. Both teams started off terrible, right? I think the Texans were 0-3, I believe, and the Bears were 0-2. They both won with the Bears on a 3-game win streak, Texans on a 2-game win streak. I believe they're getting their footing. I believe they're going to be very dangerous come the next couple of weeks and going into the playoffs. I'm not and also with CJ Stroud and Caleb Williams, when they're playing really, really well, these teams are extremely scary. All right, so I like these two teams. I also like their head coaches. Ben Johnson got his team to really buy into what he's trying to sell. And then DeMeco Ryans, we all know, is a really good defensive-minded coach. Great defense for the Texans. I believe the Bears have potential to be a great offense. I hear the footsteps. Next up, I see you. I see you. Steelers, Broncos, Patriots. I see y'all. Like when you put on a real good fit, right? And you walk out of the room, the people don't really say you look good. They be like, I see you, right? I see you because you don't look perfect, right? But you look real good. So I see y'all, Steelers. I see you, Aaron Rodgers, getting the ball out fast. Offensive line, I'm still a little concerned, but I love how y'all made Myles Garrett a non-factor. Right, offensive lines hasn't been able to do that over the past couple of weeks. But Myles Garrett did nothing against the Steelers. So y'all held him in check. Defense looked good. Aaron Rodgers looked good. I like what I'm seeing. Broncos. Bo Nix has been on a roller coaster. Some games he looked good. Some games he looks terrible. This past week in London, I believe that we all talked about Justin Fields, but we need to talk about Bo Nix because he played terrible too. Right, but that defense extremely scary. Sean Payton, one of the best play callers in the league. Right, I see y'all. The Patriots. Drake May. Remember, your boy said a couple years ago, well, last year, going into the season, I think he's going to be the best QB in that draft class. It didn't show last year, but this year, I'm starting to see it a little bit. Mind you, Mike Vrabel, the head coach, Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator, defense looking good. And Drake May doesn't even have that great of weapons. but he's getting the job done. His passer rating has been crazy since week 1. Like everybody talking about Drake May now. Don't jump on the Drake May train now. Don't do it now, right? But I see y'all. All right, so Steelers, Broncos, Patriots. Next up, head scratchers. The Lions. Week 1, bad loss. Right, you lose to the Chiefs. I mean, the offense didn't look that great against it. I thought that was game. I thought Mahomes would have had to put up crazy amount of points to win that game. But the Lions offense didn't look too shabby to me. I mean, who have they beat that we're really like raving about, right? So and then also Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. It's something about that first drive. If y'all watched the game, whenever they ran the trick play with Jared Goff, right? It's something about the way that drive ended. I just don't know about Dan Campbell when it comes to big games making decisions. Because after that play, when they called it back, they didn't know if they wanted to go for it, kick the field goal. Had to burn the timeout. Right. Then they sent the offense out there. Then they sent the field goal team. It was a bad look. All right. And I don't trust these two. Last year, Jared Goff wet the bed in the playoffs. Year before that, Dan Campbell wet the bed in the playoffs. So I just scratched my head. The Packers. Jerrick, you kind of, you was against the Packers, then you jumped on the train after the first couple of weeks, right? Rell been on the Packers train. It looked really good at first, but since then, lost to the Browns, right? Cowboys had a tie. The Bengals, that wasn't a pretty win if you ask me. That game was a little closer than I expected it to be, right? So I'm just scratching my head like Jordan Love. I don't know. These two teams, I believe they will be in the playoffs. But when it gets to the playoffs, I'm be scratching my head like I don't know how far they can go. All right. Next, beyond scary. Oh my God. Beyond scary. The Chiefs, the Rams. These two teams are crazy. First of all, they're led by two very elite quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford is having low-key one of the best seasons of his career right now throughout the first couple weeks. Right, he's making passes we ain't never seen before from all different kind of angles. Mind you, he had a back problem coming into the year. I can't tell. I think it was fake news. All right, but he looks real good. You got Puka Nacua looking like the best receiver in the league. Also with Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, the O-line looks better than we thought. The defense looks pretty good. This team is scary. The Chiefs, oh my goodness. Ain't Rashee Rice coming back this week? Right, and we saw Mahomes starting to get back into the old Mahomes, the MVP Mahomes. These teams are beyond scary, right? But I like these next 3 teams a little more. Next tier, climax. So, Jared, we're a big movie family, right? We love watching movies in this family, right? We love watching movies. Real, I believe you saw me freshman year. We love watching movies, right? And there's always that part in the movie where everything like it's going downhill, right? Everything like it's bad. Things like it's about to go left. But then everything turns around just like that, right? It's called the climax. That's the point of the movie. That's what it's called. It's the climax, bro. The Eagles and the Bills lost 2 straight. Everybody overreacting. Oh my God, the Eagles. Jay Hurts is this and that. Oh my God, the Bills. Josh Allen, this and that. Guys, it's the Eagles and the Bills. They can have 2 bad weeks. It's okay. Everything gonna turn out to be okay. All right, so trust me. It's just the climax. They're gonna turn around. Everybody gonna be sorry for what they're saying right now. I have nothing but faith in the Eagles and the Bills to turn things around. Mind you, they're both 4-2, and we're talking about them like they're just like they lost 5 straight games or something like that. And then at the top of the tiers, I never thought I would be saying this, but the Bucks are at the top of the tiers. They are MVP led, guys. I believe that if y'all watch that game, that 3rd and 14, when Baker scrambled, broke those sacks, scrambled, and then broke a tackle, stretched out for the first down on 3rd and 14, I think the MVP was won on that play. I'm sitting there watching like, oh my God. There's no way Baker just made this play. Baker is playing out of his mind. Mind you, he hasn't even had his full cast yet. Remember, they started the year off without Chris Godwin. Then Mike Evans got hurt. Chris Godwin came back. Chris Godwin got hurt again. And then Emeka Egbuka been playing great this year. He just got hurt in that game, but nothing changed. Baker's still making plays, throwing touchdowns to Tez Johnson. Who is Tez Johnson? Right, you got to give Baker his credit. Also, I believe they do have a really good head coach in Todd Bowles, so the defense is never going to be terrible. Like, they're MVP led. And I think that's how the tiers have to go. But that is it for the J-Best tiers through 6 weeks. All right. Now, Rell and Jerry about to get a tiers reactions. All right. Rell, let me know what you like and what you don't like about J-Best tiers.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna tell you something that I don't like about your tiers. So starting off, you said they all right. Talking about the Washington Commanders. Um, when we look at Jaden Daniels, we need to talk about JD5 and MVP combos. Like we shouldn't just just play with him as a I average. Like he can win any game. Like we just seen him as a rookie go to a NFC Championship game, and I just want to say they're 1-0 against the Giants. Great win, division win. They took an L to the Packers, a team we all believe is very, very scary in the NFC. A team I think is going to the Super Bowl now. An L versus the Falcons. They have Marcus Mariota playing quarterback. Like Marcus Mariota hasn't played quarterback in how long? Like when was the last time Marcus Mariota was playing quarterback for like a consistent time? It's been a while. The Chargers win was a great win. Bess, you were talking about the Chargers whenever they were 3-0. You were talking about them like a great team. Like that was a great win. I think we're undershooting that win. Like that was a great win. That Bears game, Monday Night Football, we knew it was going to be the game of the week. We said it last week. It was going to be an amazing game.
Yep.
You called it. You called it like a great sports analyst would call it. That's why I call you to go. You told me exactly what was going to happen. You said Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson were going to have their game plan ready. They were going to come ready for Jaden Daniels, and they were going to come ready for Cliff Kingsbury's offense, and that's exactly what they did. They had 3 turnovers. Do you know how many times the Commanders turned the ball over before that week?
Probably less than that.
0.
Yeah.
0.
Less than that, yeah.
Exactly. So that's you called it. Dennis Allen called a great game, and the Commanders still lost by 1 point. Like it came down to a field goal. It came down to Jaden Daniels throwing out interception. He doesn't throw interceptions, and it came down to him fumbling the ball at the end of the game. He doesn't fumble the ball. So I just think this Washington Commanders team should be in the beyond scary category because like this team hasn't been fully healthy either. Like they haven't had their best receiver yet. Like and that's really scary. That's scary. But
Scary too.
moving on to something, yes, sir. Moving on to something that I love about your tier reaction though, the Eagles. I think you hit it spot on. You literally hit it on the head. We're looking at these teams like the world is over, but these teams are 4-2. Like the Eagles, they lost to a division game. We all know how division games get. You could drop a division game anytime. We said that last week. Then we talk about the other loss to Denver. Denver's a really good football team. They have a great defense, and like it's the regular season. Like you're bound to drop a game that you should win. You know what I'm saying? They unfortunately let Denver come back and score 18 unanswered. I bet that doesn't happen again. Like you said, I seriously, honestly think if this Philadelphia Eagles team was to go 4-4, they still make it to the NFC Championship game. So definitely, just like you said, the climax, you hit it spot on. Like it's getting bad right now, but it's gonna go right back up. Trust.
Gotcha. All right, Jerrick, tell me. So wait, real quick, sorry. Rail said that the Commanders are too low, basically, ain't to move up to. He want to put them with the Chiefs and the Rams. Okay, I can see the vision, right? And then he also said he loves where the Eagles are at the climax position. All right, so Jerrick, what is something you like, something you don't like about the Tiers?
Something I liked about the Tiers, just giving the proper credit and respect to the Kansas City Chiefs. Being that last week I thought they were going to lose. I actually picked the Detroit Lions.
You did, yeah.
And, they made me eat my words. This team, like, watching that game and watching any of the other games this season, you can see that, like, it's just all waiting to be put together. There's games where the defense struggles a little bit, and there's games where the defense plays really, really good. This is a game where the defense played really, really good. And that's not what I was expecting against this Lions team, who has one of the most high-powered offenses in the league. I was expecting it to be almost a shootout because we've seen how inconsistent Kansas City's defense has been this year. But their defense stepped it up, and Mahomes played like the true MVP that he's going to be. I do think that he's going to win over Baker Mayfield because I don't think Baker Mayfield will keep this up per se the whole year, but Mahomes has been playing out of his mind every single week, keeping his team in games. Like you said, they get Rashee Rice back this week. That's big. He finally gets his number one wide receiver back. I know we talk about how he has Travis Kelce or Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy, he's not a true number one. He's not. He's more of a gadget. He's more of a guy you can use all around the field. You can use him in the backfield. You can put him in the slot, put him on the outside, trick plays, all of that. But he now has his consistent number one, Rashee Rice. And the last time we saw Mahomes play with Rashee Rice, they won the Super Bowl. Just saying that. So I definitely love that they're the beyond scary tier. Their schedule gets a little bit easier from here, and they're definitely going to go ahead and win that division. But what I don't like about your tiers, I don't like the Panthers being in Spoiler City. I just don't. They're not good to me. They're not. And I don't even think they're good enough to say that like they have the chance to spoil a team. Because when we say spoiler city, that alludes that the teams that they play are good. They haven't won a game yet against they don't have a credible win yet, put it that way. They beat the lights out of the Falcons, yes. But you also said in the tiers yourself, Michael Penix can have a really good game or he can have a really bad game. So they played a really bad Michael Penix. And that's what that was. That's the reason why they won that game that way. And then the other two wins are against the Dolphins and the Cowboys team whose defense is non-existent. Their defense is terrible. Tua turned the ball over, and Dallas Cowboys just they don't even have a defense. Like, they could put Jerry Jones out there and it'd be the same result. So I personally still don't think that the Panthers are a good team at all. Not even to like compete when they start playing good teams is gonna return to how it was. And I still believe that their head coach will be fired after this season. So I think that I honestly do think that they should be in Buns Bad and Beyond. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think they are 3-3. Yeah, they're 3-3. They have a 500 record, but it's nothing credible, honestly. All their wins are against bad teams, and they lose against so far what's been bad teams as well. I mean, they lost to the Cardinals, who were in Buns Bad and Beyond. They lost to the Jaguars, and they also have a loss against the. That's it, isn't it? Oh, the Patriots. Patriots. That's who's a pretty good team. And when they played a good team, they got beat 42-13. Like, they're not good. They're not good enough to compete with good teams. So I do think that they should be in that Buns Bad and Beyond tier.
All right, so Jig said that he loves what the Chiefs are. Of course, I'm not surprised at all. I'm saying he's a Chiefs guy, but he picked the Lions to win last week. Crazy work. But he also wants the Panthers to move down to Buns, Bad, and Beyond. Look, I'm not mad at it. I think both of y'all requests are valid. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's very valid. Y'all will see J Best tiers again after 12 weeks. All right, so I go 6. So I did the preseason tiers. I got 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 18 weeks, which is going into the playoffs. All right.
Yo, they feeling like in 7, leave a comment down below. Yo.